Hey everybody, it's Luke over at Galaxy Tech Review, and today I've got a product from Aiibe. This is their 65 watt GaN enabled 3-port USB Type-C travel adapter. This is something that you can use to charge up to 3 devices. The max that it will go is 65 watts, so if you do have a power hungry device, you're definitely going to be able to use that here. We're going to dig into it now, and I'll be right back. Okay, so there's everything you get once you get it out of the box. You'll get the main unit, of course, and you do have a user manual here, and I'll put some specifications for this up on the screen, but they're also listed here in this little fold-out that you get from Aiibe. Now this has all the specifications listed here at this point in the video. If I miss anything that you're interested in, then you can come back and check this out. So what you're going to want to do is hold on to this just in case you do need to refer to it again. This is a travel charger that will split that 65 watts between these 3 ports. You've got a USB Type A at the bottom that does a max of 18 watts. You do have 2 Type-C ports that do a max of 65 watts, but if you plug in multiple devices, they will split between those. Now, what I really like about this particular charger is that it is small and it is compact, which is really nice. That's due to the GaN technology, and GaN technology allows it to be smaller, and it will also allow it to have less heat to it as well. I had 2 high-powered devices hooked up to this for over an hour, and this did not even get warm, so that's a great thing. Again, it's a travel charger with a flip down here, and this is great if you travel often and you're going to throwing this in a backpack or a book bag or your luggage, and you don't want that to get hooked on anything or damage anything. You can just flip it up and keep it out of the way when you're traveling, so that's excellent. Now the input on this is 100 to 240 volts at 50 to 60 hertz. It's 2.12 by 2.06 by 1.18 inches in dimension, and it weighs 4.4 ounces, so it's very small and compact. It supports charge protocols like Qualcomm 3.0, 4.0, PPS, and Apple 2.4 amp, and others. Okay, so now I wanted to check how this performed while it was charging. So I tested it out with my Asus ROG Ally, which takes up to 65 watts under load. So you'll see it vary between 30 watts and all the way up to 65 when it's fully under load, and it handled the ROG Ally with no issues whatsoever. So I'm plugging this into the Type-C port at the top, and we'll see what we get here. Right now we're at 15, 17, jumped up to 64 watts there while it was testing it out, and now it's leveled off around 30, 35 watts, 37 watts. When it's just sitting there in performance mode and not doing anything and charging the battery, which is about 84%, you're getting about 35, 37 watts. And that's out of a single port. Now, if I was to plug something else in, of course, you're going to be able to, do up to 3 different devices. Now, that's going to go down to 45 watts as your max. Now, if this is in turbo at 30 watts, and we're pulling about 36, 35, somewhere in that range, again, just doing nothing. So this works really great for the Asus ROG Ally. Let's put it under some load and see what happens as well. Okay, so now we're loading up a Red Dead Redemption 2 in turbo mode with it plugged in. You can see that it's up in the 50s now, so it's pulling 45, 50, 55 watts, and when we totally load into the game, you're going to see that it pretty much maxes out close to that 60, 65 watts. So if you're somebody that's using a power hungry device like a MacBook, Air 13 or something that's going to pull a full 65 watts. This is a good test here to see if we can do it, because the ROG Ally will pull at least 65 watts when it's totally under load at turbo, at 30-watt turbo mode. You can see it jumping between 50, 55, and 65. And when we finally load into the game here, you can see that it handles it no problems, and it works great. Now, I did play this for a long period of time, and again, the charger, having GaN technology, didn't even get warm, so it definitely did a good job there. So now that we're loaded into the game, you can see we're at 64, 65 watts right here. No problems whatsoever with keeping up with that max 64, 65 watts. So if you have a power-hungry device, again, you're not going to worry about it with this charger. Being able to split the watts between other devices is also a great thing too. In case I need to top off something like my phone, I have a S23 Ultra here that can take up to 45 watts. Of course, we're not going to get that splitting them, but that is okay. This is going to charge, it's at 98% already, so it's only going to pull about 8 or 10 watts anyway. But you can see that we're still pulling 39, 36, somewhere in that range for the Ally, and I'm pulling about 9 to 10 watts on my phone to top that up. So that works out just great if I need to quickly top off another device. So there you go, that's my review of the Aiibe 65W GaN-enabled 3-port USB Type-C travel charger. This charger did a great job on my power-hungry devices, as you saw, up to 65 watts, no problems. It stayed nice and cool thanks to that GaN technology, and I like that it has a flip-out adapter to it, so you're not going to catch this on anything if you're packing it for travel. If you're looking for a travel charger that can do higher wattage for power-hungry devices, you might want to put this one on your short list. This was Luke from Galaxy Tech Review. I hope you enjoyed my review, and I'll check you guys out on the next one.